Hey, today I want to talk about my hometown, Gadsden, Alabama. As Dorothy says, there is no place like home. Gadsden has always been my home. It's been my home for about 20 years. Give or take a few because I've lived in some neighboring cities, but since about third grade, this has been my home. Today I want to talk about three things. I want to talk about the framework of our city and what it used to be. Then I want to talk about what our current inhabitants think, including myself, and what we think could better our city. And then third, I want to talk about our current opportunities available today and the things that you can do in our city. In 1825, a man named John Riley, along with a few other settlers, created a settlement known as Double Springs. He created his home in between two springs, hence the name, and for him and his family, which later became a stagecoach stop between Rome, Georgia, and here. The structure still stands today, known as one of the city's oldest. After a while, the area opened up for homesteading and purchase, which it was after the Cherokee removal of the 1830s. The Cherokee removal was when they removed the 15,000 Cherokee Indians in the state of Alabama from their homes and placed them in what is today known as Oklahoma. In 1840, the Hughes brothers started purchasing a lot of land, including, Lookout Mountain, the Coosa River, and Wills Creek. They also purchased John Riley's own home. The town took a turn when Captain Lafferty's he piloted the first steamboat here. They were going to name the city after him, Lafferty's Landing, but instead they named it after Colonel James Gadsden. He was famous for negotiating the famous Gadsden Purchase from Mexico. In 1867, Bain County was organized with Gadsden as its county seat, but that was later dissolved, and in 1868, Etowah County was formed in its place. Gadsden still remained at the seat. Gadsden was once known as a port and warehouse city, where it thrived as one of Alabama's major industrial and shipping centers, and manufacturing became the economy's driving force. In 1896, there was Dwight Cotton Mill, which is located in Alabama City. It closed in 1959. Gulf State Steel opened up in 1903, only to dissolve and file bankruptcy and close in 2000. Goodyear Tire and Rubber opened up in 1929, and it is still open to this day. The Trophy Dairy milk bottling company was located once on Walnut Street, where what is now the Alabama Teachers Credit Union. Lastly, there is the Gadsden Ordnance Plant that made cannon shells for World War II. Even though Gadsden was booming in the 1900s, as the 2000s came in, everything declined. In 1989, Gadsden was named one of the 7 worst cities to live in. In 2015, it was once again named as one of the 10 places worst to live. One of the top 10 places worst to live in. I arranged a social media poll on Facebook. I asked several groups along with my personal page what they thought of when they thought of the city of Gadsden. Out of all the answers, I narrowed it down to about 55 people, and they gave me a good bit of feedback. I expected drugs to be in the top, but I was shocked. Out of all of it, the first thoughts that came to our residents' heads was corruption, retirement city, boring, home, drugs, nothing for kids or families, beautiful citizenship, and untapped potential. Drugs fell to number 5 on the list, and boring being number 1. I then asked them the question what they think we could improve, or what was already good about Gadsden. And the answer I got was they suggested a decent sports complex, better education, a new hangout for 18 to 26-year-olds. They said give them a place to hang out instead of the streets. Safer parks, community events, and labor jobs instead of fast food. A lot of them said that every corner you turn, you're going to run into a fast food place. While Gadsden isn't the best it could be, and is nothing like it used to be, if you look past the ugly, it really is a beautiful city. From the same poll I created earlier, a lot of people gave me some good insight on a few of our popular building and places that people thought of. They thought of the Gadsden State, which is our community college, the mall, Broad Street, Goodyear, Gadsden City, and the Coosa River and Nakalula Falls. The Coosa River has always been the center of our city, running at 280 miles long, beginning in Rome, Georgia, and ending in northeast of Montgomery. It maintains 7 dams, which is the 7 impoundments, built by the Alabama Power Company. Jordan Dam, Tailwater, and Weptunka, Lake Jordan, Lake Bolden, Lake Mitchell, located near Clanton, Lay Lake near Columbiana, Lake Logan Morgan near Pell City, Lake Neely Henry near Ohatchee, and Lake Weiss near Leesburg. Over the years, it has been used for transportation, for trade, and for fun. Another attraction that Gadsden offers is a 250-acre public park, also known as Nakalula Falls. The legend of Nakalula, recapped from Maltide Bilbro, says that there were a tribe of Indians, the chief having a daughter named Nakalula. Many lobbied the chief for her hand in marriage, but the chief favored only one of the men. He was a rich chief of a neighboring tribe, which had a lot to offer them. Sadly, Nakalula had fallen in love with a young man from her own tribe. The young man was forced out of the tribe, and a marriage agreement was made between the rich chief and Nakalula. When the day came, a feast was made, but Nakalula slipped away, overcome with grief, and jumped off the edge of the waterfall. From that day on, the land was named Nakalula. This also makes the falls the main feature of the park. The falls runs at 90 foot, creating a gorge trail that winds through its basin and caves. You can even walk under the falls, exploring the water trail. These trails, Nakalula Falls even offers trails that you can walk. They have one trail that splits into 8 trails. 8 different trails. These trails fitting each different person preferred difficulty. If it even includes a trail for family, it's called the Family Loop. The falls also includes a petting zoo, a playground, a train, a mini golf course, a pioneer homestead, and the Civil War carvings, and mini golf. Did I say mini golf? I love mini golf. You are also able to camp out on the campgrounds and rent a stay in 2 of their cabins. It is a truly beautiful place to visit. My son loves it, especially the train. So you might hear some awful things about my hometown Gadsden, a once thriving and busy city, but don't forget about the virtuous things. There's also great stuff to do, like view the beautiful river and take a tour of our Nakalula Falls. Along with that, we also have many annual events. The world's longest yard sale is one of the most popular, but also one of the most hated because it holds off a lot of traffic. We also have the Etowah County Fair, which was recent, Nakalula Falls Halloween Bash, which is coming up this weekend, Nakalula Falls Charity Pig Roast, and much more. As you can see, there is a lot of history behind Gadsden. Like every city, and while there may be untapped potential and wicked things in our city, there is also plenty of opportunity and beauty as well. What is that thing that people say? Don't knock it till you try it. Well, don't knock our little city until you give it a try. Thanks, you guys.